Hi. Hi. Oh, I gotta test it out because I know that this doesn't always want to work on the first try.
Hello, everybody out there
Hi.
in cyberspace of
Hi.
the social media world. Welcome. We're doing lives of all different types. So,
Check out in. Go ahead and put up a like as we get set up.
exactly. We're going to have a deep conversation today. So, I hope you're all ready for this.
No, we're not. I thought we were just coming on to have fun.
Yeah, and that too.
Maybe you have a deep conversation with yourself. I just came on to have fun. We
Well,
didn't plan this.
we didn't plan this, but I have a feeling it could get deeper. So, believe me, when things are unpredictable, expect the unexpected. So, as the saying goes.
Anyways, why are you on? Are you going to tell them why you're on?
Yeah, we are on because we're about to have a conversation between Rainbow and myself, but you guys can chime in too in a more positive manner, of course, and problem solving manner about various celebrities and things like that. And so we're going to talk about that and about
Okay,
the.
I just
Oh,
have to say this. You sound so boring when you when you're trying to talk on camera. We sound so like free, uninhibited, and unrestricted, and like for real when we're just having a conversation. We're like, oh my god, these epiphanies that we're going through at the same time is so good. We should just totally record this because when I've heard other teachers conversations that are how do you say not scripted, like just kind of like when they're going through their epiphanies and discussions, it's so
first of all, I don't
riveting.
sound that boring. First of all, I don't care what the hell she says. Ignore that for a second, okay? I am a little more excited than that. I'm just trying to get everything going here.
I'm trying to get it going. You're sitting there. You're supposed to entertain them.
Well, I could be very entertaining if I choose to, okay? But the thing is, we need to get things rolling first before you start to entertain. That's usually how that goes.
Okay, see, I lit the fire under his ass. Now we're ready. Now he's awake.
Oh, fuck that. I've always been fired up. What the hell
Clean
is she talking about?
language. Clean
Uh,
for the children. Okay, this is still not working. I have to restart this. Oh, and of course, it wants to do a freaking update.
oh,
So,
wow. How convenient.
okay. Well, that's why. That's why we always be prepared for the unexpected.
Exactly.
Um, not surprised. Talk about being prepared. Preppers here. So, how are you guys this Saturday morning? It's July 25. Go ahead and check it in. Drop a comment. Tell us how you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be
July
shy now.
25, 2020. I'm Rainbow, by the way.
And I'm Bear.
Um, we have our patreon.com/Bear and Rainbow Shamanic Healers. Can you hear me?
You anyone hear us?
It'll be launching soon. I'm kind of far. The cameras are really far, so I'm trying to project. So I just kind of want to know how it is.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get into the conversation here. Um, this morning, you and I were watching Blake and Gwen Stefani.
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani singing at Food Depot. And we were talking about the fact that, Boy George, why don't you go ahead and start this off and how he brought this up? Like you were saying,
Okay, so now I have this lens of looking at everyone with. I know it's sad, but are you part of that adrenochrome ring? Are you part of the sex trafficking? Are you part of the human torture ring? That's how I look. That's the first question that always comes to my mind now when it comes to celebrities. And it's really sad because yes, that's a negative way of looking at people, but amongst everything that's coming out now, that's unfolding, unraveling, and how justice is being served, um, it's also disheartening because we have certain connections and ties to certain celebrities, whether it be in this life, in other lifetimes, like people being my sisters. Even if I don't like them in this life, it doesn't matter. It still makes me want to cry.
It's very disheartening, like definitely, because I mean, I've had looked up to various
You have a lint
celebrities.
on your eyelash.
Oh, thank you. I've looked up to various celebrities myself, growing up and everything, especially, when my mom would take me to movies when I was a kid growing up, and I would see different, movie stars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and things like that. And so, especially with various celebrities too, there were certain celebrities that I've actually have met and we have worked with in the not music industry, excuse me, acting industry, movie industry, when we were background actors and things like that at one point. And then there were some celebrities that we never met, but we met the relatives of these certain celebrities. And so I got a chance to know various, know about the celebrities through the relatives, not necessarily meaning as the celebrities themselves. So that's the idea. And we were going to talk about examples, but one of the key things that we started talking about this was because we were, like I said, looking at Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani's music video with
Oh
the poor
yeah,
people.
they were donating food or helping for this COVID. So I thought, oh, how cute! What a cute little couple. And I asked Bear, why do they always dog on Blake Shelton like he's the ass of the show on The Voice? And I told Bear, it doesn't matter who the other judges are with him. They always like in this mainstream media, they always want to make him look like the dumbass of the show. And I don't see him that way. I mean, I did in that perception, but I'm thinking, I respect the man. He's a star. He's an excellent performer, effortless. It's beautiful when he performs, right? And I thought, why do they need to make him look dumb even with a different cast of judges around him, no matter how many times he gets on The Voice? And I thought, that's not a coincidence. So I asked Bear why.
And during the conversation, it came to me that the reason why they like various celebrities get dumped down from other celebrities or get ganged up on or whatever, it's because it just hits me that certain celebrities are not all the way in with them, with these celebrities.
And then Alicia Keys, everyone, all the other judges are scared of her. It's like, why? What is it that we're not reading between the lines? So I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, Bear was talking about he's not a part of their club. Well, what is this club? The Adrenochrome Club? The hey, let's shut the fuck up and just be part of the problem club? What is this club? And Alicia Keys, like, I wanted to know. I was thinking last night, since last night, I was wondering, is she part of this? Is she part of the corruption with like all these uh, arrests and mass arrests and executions? Like, I just wondered. Not that I really care, but it's like, why do they act scared of her? Like, why are the judges? Oh no, like she's the best, like she's number one. Like, oh great, I can't compete against her. Like all these A-list celebrities are afraid of Alicia Keys on The Voice. All the judges are like, oh great, there's no competition when she turns her chair. So is she part of the corruption, or is she clean, or what is it? I'm just curious.
Well, quite frankly, I mean, the way I view things, obviously there has been some exposure with Alicia Keys in regarding how she's raising her child and her kids and things like that are very controversial. And at the same time, you people have to read between the lines of what is going on because they're not always going to tell you everything. They're not going to really spill all the beans. There's very few times that Alicia Keys
Like
has
Nick
spilled the beans.
Cannon. Let's go there too when you're done.
Oh yes, and so you see, she has built. She has definitely has been, been a very talented person, and she really went into the industry with a lot of it with a lot of talent. And at the same time, you don't really hear too much about her and other things or other parties or other scandals that she's been having yet, according to some people. But even so, you don't make it. A lot of times when these celebrities, whether it's music or Hollywood or whatever, they get into the industry, you have to sacrifice something or another, whether it's your time, your energy, and so forth. But it's not just that. But the sacrifice that they want you to do is a lot of times that's more or less on a ritualistic scale, whether it's sexual rituals or killing rituals and things like that, or becoming or actually start participating in certain rituals that can, especially if you're insecure within yourself to begin with, you'll eventually will fall into that. insecurity and then fall into the traps that brings out that insecurity, whether it's adrenochrome, for instance, because it takes a very insecure person to want to drink it adrenochrome in that way as a shortcut to make you look young, rather than trying to exercise or have a better diet or meditation or raise your vibration. Those take a lot of work. But adrenochrome, it seems to be too easy of a shortcut. And that's what a lot of these celebrities have been doing for a long, long time. To a point where it's getting to a point now that they're getting arrested. It's getting to a point.
Are you talking to them or are you talking to me? I thought we were going to have a conversation. Like I said,
I'm talking to them just to kind of get them up to speed.
It's so much more interesting when he talks to me and we're just like talking in the car, driving somewhere, or just, having whatever, lunch. And just whatever, we just talk off the fly. But then when he starts talking to you on the camera, it feels like a lecture.
Well, I just want to keep them up to speed of what we're really talking about. So I'm going to turn back to you now.
It's okay. Those who know will know.
Right. Right.
So we were talking about. I was asking you, okay, why do they make Blake Shelton, who I respect and admire, as a talented performer? I mean, a lot of these celebrities are talented performers, and why do they make him look like a dumbass on The Voice? And why are the other judges so scared, or like, why are they in fear of Alicia Keys? Like, there is no competition. They don't have a chance against her.
First of all, I think it's been they have their own. I think the fear is really real from these celebrities, of the other certain celebrity. For one thing, because there's a lot of insecurities that's going on. And on top of that, it's also been done by design to those who know, to those behind the curtain, so to speak. To those who actually designed it to say, oh, no, go pick on him, because he's not part of our club. He's not with us. You need to, get on him. We need to get him down.
Now, what is this club?
The club meaning
the Zionists who control the media, the six total biggest corporations or media corporations in the world.
Yes.
So I was also thinking of what was I gonna say? Not Nick. Something else. The four. So we're talking about The Voice, that competition music show. The Four. That's another one with Diddy, Khaled, and Meghan Trainor. So I personally feel that Leah Janae Gaines should have won, but they didn't want these strong black women to win. And also Ali Caldwell was another strong one. Okay, no disrespect or shade to James Graham, but I personally feel that those three. I mean, you competed with your best friend on the show, Sharia, but I feel that all these black women should have been the top just because out of their pure talent. Not you, James Graham. And I feel that the media had pre-planned this, and that it wasn't in the hands of Diddy or Khaled or Megan or the audience. I feel that it was rigged, just like the United States presidential elections. And the message that probably this mainstream media Zionist, tried to portray is, hey, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Life's not fair, and we're gonna choose this person even if it's not based on out of merit or talent or real competition. We're gonna choose this person to win. And I personally feel, in my opinion, why like Diddy and Khaled would have chosen Whitney Rain was because she's controllable. She's weak. She doesn't have her own strength. Whereas Ali Caldwell, she's a beast. She's uncontrollable. Leah Janae, she's also strong, okay? And I feel that they're just so fierce that Diddy can't control her. Like, I'm going to sign you on. I can't mentor you if you're too headstrong. I can't, how do you say, have you be my protege, my prototype, my whatever. I can't mold you into, and I can't control you. So I feel Khaled and Diddy can't control those two strong black women, Ali Caldwell and Leah Janae. That's why they didn't let him win.
And you know what? And then later on, I found out from one of the YouTubers who was a strong black woman, Creole and so forth, that Diddy may not be as what he appears
Diddy's
to be.
gay. All these people are gay, okay? They're homosexuals. From Lil Wayne, everyone. And not just gay, even transgender. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm getting red pilled so much finding out all these things. Kanye West. All these people are transgender. Michelle Obama, well, she's already.
Right. And yeah, exactly. And see, so basically, yeah, see, so as far as Diddy is concerned, now that I found out from Flairburn the real deep stuff about him, that's why he didn't choose strong black women, because he doesn't really like women the way, according to Flairburn, that was the name of the YouTuber, by the way. Big ups to Flairburn, by the way. Love the sister, very powerful, awesome, magical. Keep up the great work. And so, with that being said, the fact that now that I found out from the sub, I can understand why he did not choose the strong black women in these competitions, because he likes people that he can control,
Exactly.
men and women.
That's why what's his name? DJ Khaled and what's the name? Diddy. That's why they wanted to choose Whitney Rain. They said, "Oh, this is so hard." Yeah, that's because you're not basing on pure talent. You're basing on who you can control and mold. They wrote on paper and they're like, "Oh, you too." So they both chose the same person, even though she wasn't as masterful and, talented. She didn't have as bright a star as the other two or power, because she was controllable. She was packageable. She was obedient.
And the thing about it is, and that's just it. If you are obedient and packageable, then you're easily controlled. And the thing about it is, but I mean, a lot of people will say, "Well, wait a minute. Well, then he just mentoring her." Yeah, but that mentoring can come at a price.
What about Diddy's ex-wife, baby mama, Kim Porter? She's
Ex
dead,
girlfriend,
right?
yes,
She's dead, and they're trying to, and then he's selling her book,
yes.
making it to be his own.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a man. That's not a person.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, because it was happening during when this particular woman, Fairburn, was actually saying her on her show. Other people were chiming in and giving her the intel, and that's when everything was starting to come all together. Even during the time when she was making that video, I was like, damn.
I would love for you guys to chime in and share your knowledge and intel as well with us.
Right. Because I mean, the thing about it is, we're all trying to really put the pieces of the puzzles together. It takes the people to really figure things out. Now we have to do this.
Yeah, we don't know everything. That's why we're here having these discussions this Saturday morning, or is it still morning? It's almost noon where we're at. Yeah, we'd love to know what you guys know. We can all figure it out together. And what about Nick Cannon?
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to talk about him?
Yeah, see, Nick Cannon, here's what I was telling you this morning. Professor Griff actually obviously had a video. He's, of course, public enemy #1 for those who don't know. And so basically, he asked him some certain questions that got Nick to spill the beans a little bit too much in regards to not only did he talk about white people in regards to the racism and everything else that's going on, but he also spoke about the Jewish Zionism and various other things regarding the Jewish running, the media and stuff like that, to a point where he spoke so much that he got himself in a little bit of trouble. And Professor Griff set him up for that fall, because Nick Cannon, of course, spout out his mouth a certain way, but he did not know all the way what he was into himself. This was what's so stupid about it, was that Nick Cannon was already in the industry, but I guess he did not know how deep he was really in until he started running his mouth about the Jews, about Zionism, pretty much, and call him anti-Semitic and everything else too. Which, by the way, you and I have figured out that Zionism, of course, is not a religion; it's a political movement. Judaism is it's a religion. That the Israelis are worshiping. And by the way, I don't know if you heard about this past week, but they're now starting to rebel now in Israel.
Yes, I've heard about it. They're kicking Netanyahu out, Prime Minister Netanyahu out, for all his corruption, lying, schemes, everything. Yeah.
And so right now the Israelis are now basically now defending themselves in their religion, saying, no, Zionism is not us. We're not part of the Zionists. And it's about damn time that they're making a stand, because people for far too long are putting all this are confused and been putting these things together because they're not educated about these things. Now they're starting to educate people, which is a good thing because now people could be more aware. Like people like you and I could be more aware, and other people who decide to become aware to as far as that goes, figure out the differences. And of course, there are also differences between Khazarian Jews and actual Jews themselves too, which we can go another time. But right now, that's what's been going on too, is that everything's starting to get exposed. And I'm really glad that the Israeli Jews over there are actually exposing this. That way, now people can be more clear once it is researched.
People like to attack us and say blah 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 blah. Well, you know what? I'm not really into politics that much. I don't know much about that. That's more of what like Bear likes to talk about. I talk more about like the interpersonal stuff on like personal development, how you can survive and thrive in this world, with other people. When it comes to social, yourself, self help, self healing, and finances, stuff like that. The the politics, like when they talk about the Zionism, oh my God, you're talking about Jewish anti-Semitic. You mentioned that. Well, there are people that talk about like, oh, it's not necessarily Judaism, like how you say what Muslim and Islam, like they're not all terrorists. It's
No,
only
they're
a
not.
certain
They're not all
sect.
jihadists.
Yes, it's only a certain sect. Well, same thing with the Jews. It's not necessarily the Jews. What it is, it's the aliens that created Zionism. And people don't know that because not everyone can go with embracing the collective of our military government along with the intergalactic governments, communities, alliances. And that's the missing part. So people just want to talk plain old politics, whereas they're not including the galactic communities. And that's the missing link. And, like, for example, the moon. Why has it been so orchestrated? What's missing there?
See, here's the real deal from the guy named Richard C. Hoagland. He's the expert behind this whole situation with the moon landings and everything. Now, here's the idea: the moon landing that people saw on TV was orchestrated. It was fake.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because he said, and then it was also proven that we really did went on the moon. But what we went on the moon, in actuality, what they saw was not what it was filmed. What they saw was civilization over there of ETs, races, and UFO flying around and things like that. And they didn't want the people to know that.
So humans are not the only race. Humans are not the Adamic humans are not the only dominant race on Earth. We're just a little speck compared to everyone else who had already landed on the moon.
Right. And so these beings were there, and not to mention now they already had film too with other UFO ships flying around. And so when they were actually there on the moon, both Russians and Americans and various other people alike, a lot of people were not going to tell you that there already were beings there. And so then they had to meet them and all kinds of other stuff. And then they had to figure out. And I remember Dwight Eisenhower and various other people in the government already met the aliens before they even went off to the moon. And so the military industrial complex and various
Why
other,
are they hiding it?
they're hiding it because they want to have control over the people. They want to also have control over the technology of warfare,
Who's they?
meaning the American shadow government as well as other governments of the world from the Nazis and things like that. And especially after World War II, they brought the Nazis here in America to perfect the alien technologies that they're accumulated.
So what did they get? How did they sell out? If they were hiding this, what did they get in return in exchange for that?
Okay, so in exchange for it with the aliens, they made an agreement that they would allow the aliens to come and take the people and for whether there's experiments or food shopping to eat from various reptilian ETs and also greys to take the humans. They have them experiment on them, and then in return they give them the technologies for
I'm
warfare,
laughing. That's
phones,
not funny.
communications, and everything else like that.
Shopping, like, oh, I want to eat that one. That one looks healthy. That one took care of herself.
So all these children and all these people that are missing, where have they gone to? Where have they went to? Well, that's one of the key missing parts. That's where a lot of these missing people have gone. And also a lot of them too have kidnapped them. So the Hollywood elites and the government elites and everything could also use them as sacrificial lambs, so to speak,
For what?
for adrenochrome, power, rituals, things like that.
Oh, that's awful.
Right, and then also there's some are also to feed into the ETs who are living underground. Some of them are reptilians. They would eat them.
Just like humans eat chicken,
Yes,
pork, and beef,
yes,
lamb, and goat, and
yes,
fish.
yes.
They're gonna eat you and me.
Well, we're
They're like,
gonna
oh, I like this plump one. I don't want her; she's too bony.
these kind of things like that, and that's what's been going on for a long time with all this
What
corruption.
else do we want to talk about?
So that's one of the reasons why the moon landing was fake, not because we never went to the moon.
What were they getting out of it? Why did they hide? What were they getting out of it?
Technology and secrecy
What
and
kind of technology?
internet technology that's from them, so we can actually get like the technologies we have right now, like the phones. Everything we have right now all came from the ETs.
Technology to do what?
Mostly warfare to try to fight against the Russians and to compete against all the other countries too, because America wanted to be number one, but then the Russians wanted it the same way too, and so the Nazis.
Is this why they're always trying to hide Nikola Tesla and his inventions or his discoveries? Is this why we have these archaic cars where we still have to use gasoline when we could be using other kinds of cars?
Exactly, because the thing about it is they want money out of people. They want profits too. See, with these
At the expense of the earth.
right, because of these technologies that the aliens have, you cannot charge. It is so powerful to a point where it's really effective that it will not hurt anything or any earth. It will not hurt anybody because these energies are so advanced that it can be used without having to charge people. You cannot charge people with a certain amount of energy, or unless you know how to do profits. But these people have been charging people with gasoline and everything. You can charge people with certain things, and that's one of the reasons why too. It's a lot of it's for profit too.
So it's this low vibration of money. Oh, we're gonna do it this way, even though it hurts the earth, it hurts the people or the inhabitants because they want money.
Yes.
So it's a lower vibration of needing money.
Needing money, power over people as well too. So you see, so first it's about the money, then it's about power, and control. That's basically what this is about.
Oh, you're so smart.
Of course. Thank you. You know, I'm glad somebody recognizes that. So, and then of course, depopulation is also part of their control too. They also want to depopulate the humans as well, so that they can also not only have them as food and resources and so forth, but they can also have a certain amount of power over a certain amount of people through mind control too, and different all technologies that can get people to believe certain people easily or believe the government and not question them in so many ways. That's why they have organizations like CIA and different others like
Clowns in America.
yeah, and psyops and things like that. And so, with that being said, that's one of the reasons why people have to be these celebrities when they get in, they sign almost like an agreement, so to speak. But it's not just that, but they also sign it in blood, who go deeper in the industry, whether it's music or Hollywood or whatever, and then they start to get bigger roles or bigger money and things like that. And some of them even for the men, especially the black men, they start wearing dresses and everything else too, as to get them to bow down. And those celebrities who know would tell you that too. From Dan DC Curry, the comedian, he's actually said that they wanted to make him bow down, but he said no. I'd rather make less money than do that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my soul, people.
Yeah.
My soul is more important than this whatever you selling for fame, fortune, whatever you want.
And as far
success.
It even happened with us. It even happened when people wanted us to sell our souls. We ended up walking out.
Yeah, whether they be in this physical realm or in the astral realms, like, no, F you. I'm keeping this. This is mine. Back off.
Exactly. And there are some people that we knew too that we had to walk away from. And a lot of people were thinking that we may be stupid. How can you walk away from something like that? You guys could have been millionaires. You guys could have been this. But you know what? Hold on.
I don't care. I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror.
Me too.
Each morning and know that, hey, I earned this. I did it. I did it in a honorable way, balanced way, not something where I look at myself in the mirror and it's like, oh, you know what you did and you have a guilty conscience. Ain't worth it. That's not living.
And then now seeing more celebrities getting exposed and coming out and getting arrested and even executed.
That makes me so sad.
I mean,
Can I talk about that?
yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about it.
I mean, people being raised as a child and growing up, we are as a society, we are groomed to look up to celebrities, to leaders, and finding out, getting red pilled with all these people who are part of the controlled opposition, who have been sellouts. I'm just like, wow, it's kind of overwhelming. Like I've heard stuff about the Kanye, the Harriet Tubman, just everyone and everything, Louis Farrakhan. Like you think all these people are like so noble and righteous, you bow down to them and they're in your history books. Like all this educational system needs to be rewritten now.
Mm-hmm.
And not just from one standpoint, but from different standpoints. Like not from a Eurocentric or white devil's mind standpoint, which by the way is in our book. I don't even know if we're going to keep the title. That's why I'm not saying it right now.
So yeah,
which is in another book of ours that is not published yet.
and the same thing about it is like I say, speaking of Louis Farrakhan, hell, I had a coworker years ago where I was basically this was about 20 or so years ago who tried to recruit me to the Nation of Islam, and they thought they saw a potential to be to these Nation of Islam people or henchmen, or you want to call them. They wanted to recruit me because they saw that I had great power and potential because I was still developing my power and my energy at the time, even when I was like in my early 20s. But even still, it's like I still didn't feel right about it. I mean, they seem to be cool black people, but it's just like there's just so many. There was just a lot of something was so off that I felt I don't know about this, and so I did not join. But I had other secret societies and other people try to recruit me too in the past, and I didn't feel right, so I never really joined. But I just imagine if I would have joined, how my life would have been very, very different. But then again, would I have been happy? And so I had to dig deep within myself and says, no, I would not have been as happy. I'll be powerful, yes, but not as happy. Now, granted, I'm I'm still growing my power. I'm still growing myself and working myself every day. And at the same time, you know, people sell their souls and they gave them a lot of power and money and fame and everything, but why are they giving up
At what price?
Yeah. And I've learned this from one of my teachers years ago. For everything you learn, there is a price.
So everything always gets exposed. So you might as be real. Just do it with integrity. Do it with balance. Do it with honor. Do it with, you know, well, at the same time, be true to your element. Because, like, if you're a demon, then being true to your element would be like taking advantage of other people.
Right.
Yeah, I feel sad. I feel sad thinking about these people, whether they be politicians or actors, musicians, people in the music industry. I feel sad because we're all separated by 6 degrees of separation, and whether we're connected physically in this life or not, and how we are, and other lives, it's it still touches a chord in me, strikes a chord in me. It makes me cry because it's very disheartening. I feel disappointed in them. And at first, it's shocking, makes me cry. It's like, is this real? I thought you were stronger than that. I believed in you. It's like, really? You did that? You were that weak or insecure that you sold out for a piece of that, and then you went further and deeper? I mean, it really shatters my world. And it's like, if I'm feeling this way and I've been red pilled for a long time, but then just feeling more and more and more and more, imagine how the masses are not even handling this. They're probably becoming, I don't know, schizophrenic or thinking, wow, this world is crazy. Well, yeah, they want everyone to be in versions.
Well, here's the thing. What I wanted to say too. You see, what's one thing for people for us to look up to, but then you also see everyone else from your family members and everything looking up to these people. I mean, I remember back at my parents' house, my parents would watch certain award shows or hip hop award shows and everything, and or even my parents would watch basketball. You know, that's their favorite sport, and they would watch athletes such as LeBron James, and they would watch various athletes from even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all that. I mean, my parents they started from way back. Old school, Michael Jordan and everything. As they look up to these celebrities, and then nowadays it's like I look up to them, and I mean I now I look up to them, I see them. It's like wow, my parents actually look up to these people as well. So it's not
I
just us; it's also a lot of people around us. That
I
do
don't
it.
have a problem with them being like gay or homosexual or I mean, okay. The thing is, okay, what I do have a problem with is they were hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gay, you're gay. If you're transgender, you're transgender. Fine. But for you to hide it and deceive the people and you're like this leadership role in as politicians and just whatever, like all these people look up to you, that's very deceptive. And it's like, why? Why? It's like, okay, even if you don't know why, maybe they don't know why, they just have to do it. They're following orders because they are under contract because they sold their soul to the devil, right? To Satan or whoever, Baphomet, whoever you want to say, or whoever they did to, because there's many different malevolent entities. So I would have more respect for them if they just came out and said, oh, hey, yeah, I'm an inversion. I was a male that became a female, or vice versa. Not just all this hiding it, and then once it gets exposed, oh, you're this and you're this, you're this. Like, you don't have to deceive us. Just come clean and, live and let live. But for you to hide it like that, that is a betrayal.
Big time betrayal. I mean, and who did it the most was our own former president Barack Hussein Obama, or Barry Santoro, because and I said this in one of my other videos.
That's his name, Santoro?
Yeah, Barry Santoro.
What kind of name is that?
That was the name he was born with.
Is that
actually.
Italian? Santoro? Greek?
It was. I think it was either like Indonesian or something like that. But actually, it was African because his father was Kenyan, so he's from Kenya, and of course now one of his older brothers is now exposing him too about who he really is.
And he has like three or more different birth certificates, right?
Yes, he has one in Kenya, Canada,
Hawaii?
That's United States, and I'm trying to remember. And there's Kenya,
Indonesia?
Canada. Yeah, in Indonesia. There you go.
How about Mars?
Well, I thought, actually he went to Mars for a
Didn't
different
you
program.
tell me you had a vision that he was born in Mars?
I did had a vision of that, but then it turns out that I found out that he actually went to Mars as a program for Project Pegasus program. Andrew Pasaccio was the one who exposed that, and so did Alfred Weber.
Lamont the Third.
Yeah,
What's Project Pegasus about?
time travel.
Oh.
Time travel, and also working with the ETs and time shifting and things like that with the machines and different technologies. And so he was 12 years old when he was selected for that. And on top of that, he's a grandson, as I also found out too, of Adolf Hitler, because his mother was the daughter of Adolf Hitler, along with Angela Merkel being the daughter of Adolf Hitler too.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
There are a lot of different secrets that people don't know about because it's a perception that people have created, which they created because they think, oh, the world is like this, like that. And not to mention, you also got to remember the reason why they're not as transparent is because it's the same judgment of the Christianity and Islam about anti-homosexual and blah, blah, blah. But nowadays, everybody's keeping more of an open mind and heart. Sure, they're tolerating it, but doesn't mean they have to accept it. But it's not like they're totally going to burn you to the stake either. Burn you at the stake, that is, like they did back in ancient times. And so that's one of the reasons why they're not transparent. But even still, that's no excuse to be hiding it. And especially the fact that, his wife was actually once a man named Michael Levin Robinson. And then they brought the kid.
Pina colada. Bear was showing. You want to say it?
I might as well. I red pilled some coworkers of mine recently. Nah, very little bit, not a lot. And let's just say I showed him a video.
I'll stand up and show them.
Of young Pharaoh who is another awesome brother, by the way. You know, he's just top notch, in my view. He basically showed and exposed Michelle Obama being a transgender man. Now, a lot of people have been saying this for many years, but there hasn't been any proof. Now, and I gave Barack Obama the benefit of the doubt of him being bisexual, but I never. But a lot of people say he's homosexual. He's homosexual. He's homosexual. I'm like, okay. And then people were saying that Michelle was transgender. But here's the thing: like I said, there was no proof until Pharaoh really exposed that. When he exposed that, I had proof.
Okay, so he was dancing on Ellen DeGeneres show, and
the penis was shown
the
through
Frankenwieners, it was showing through the white pants. When they were dancing like this. They were doing this dance, and then the camera, like woo woo, with all the kids and the other people, and then the bat and balls were poking through the white pants, and it was shown because it was baggy and it was like jiggling around, so you could see it. Oh no! Look.
Well, just one of them was trying to reconnect, but they're trying to zap everything what we're saying here. Okay, that's all right. We're gonna continue on with this because.
See, what is that? The Facebook. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Not surprised there. See, so basically, yeah, and then on top of that, then it was also showing a couple of videos that that Obama actually pronounced rather than Michelle, Michael, a couple times too. Oh
my Michael.
And on top of that,
what is this doing? See, it's trying to stop our transmission, and it's been trying for 3 or 4 times in a row, and some of the higher benevolent beings keep reconnecting it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, should we end this now? It's at like over 42 minutes.
Well, here's what I wanted to say, and I wanted to definitely say about this. See, even when like certain celebrities, like I said, we looked up to them. We've seen their good movies, music videos, various contributions, and yet various celebrities that have been killed that were like, that were basically made fun of, like Michael Jackson, for instance. Okay.
Whitney Houston, LeBron.
No, Kobe Bryant.
Oh, sorry.
No, LeBron James is a punk. He's a sellout.
Oh, Kobe Bryant, Whitney Houston. How about Aaliyah, Prince? All these people, they were actually sacrifices.
Not only were they sacrifices, but they were killed off because they spoke about certain things that what's going on. They exposed certain things. See, a lot of people thought Michael Jackson was the pedophile because of all these different things that the media have said about him and different other things like that. But what people fail to realize is that the people that he was closest to were the pedophiles, from Steven Spielberg and various other people. So all these people were surrounded by pedophiles, and yet these people were so in together that they projected their shit upon them, upon Michael Jackson, upon Prince, and various other celebrities who didn't go along with their program. And yet they were so powerful that they got a lot of money because they did a lot of things that basically all the celebrities were like, what? That can't be happening. I mean, even like Bill Cosby. He wanted to buy NBC. That's why they busted him. That's why they had him, sent him in jail, because he wanted to buy NBC, Bill Cosby. So Donald Trump pretty soon may end up pardoning him because he knew what was going on, Donald Trump.
So he got framed.
Yes.
He was accused of all those rapes.
Yes. And all these rapes that never really happened. And this whole Quaaludes thing that they like to talk about so much, well, that was something everyone did back in the day. Quaaludes, the drugs.
Oh, Quaaludes.
Yeah, that was something everyone did. Even Eddie Griffin had said that was something we all did back in the 70s. It wasn't nothing new that what he did. Everyone did it. Everyone was on it. So to point out that he's the only one that did it is asinine.
Asinine! Word of the day, asinine.
I mean, and that's so you see all these people that have either gone to jail or being sacrificed, many of them because they're alphas, they want to take control of their own lives, and they want to take control of the industry that the Jewish Zionists created to begin with, to take it away from them, because they wanted to take that power for themselves and for the people.
You know, people like to attack when they hear others say the Jews, the Jewish Zionists, the Jewish Khazars. I'll just go even deeper and get to the root. The negative alien entities that created Zionism. Boom. There. Not the Jews. See? Relieving the Jews.
Mm-hmm. And
And
those,
if you want to know, should we end this now?
no, there's another thing I wanted to say.
I want to end it. I'm tired.
I know you're tired, but here's the thing. Even like someone like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, that was a little bit personal for me. And I'm going to say this like this. No, I did not meet the man personally. I did see him wrestle a few times at the sports arenas and so forth in San Diego. But that was not even half the idea of what I was, because I wasn't even a big, huge Rock fan. I was more of a Steve Austin fan. Because Steve Austin and The Rock were like the major wrestlers at that time. And it was one of those things that only wrestling fans knew. It was either you were a fan of Steve Austin or you were a fan of The Rock. But you couldn't be a fan of both at the time. And I was more of a fan of Steve Austin. Now, why am I saying this like this? Is because even though I grew to respect The Rock, I had no idea that The Rock was related to the various Samoan families that I knew back in high school and in my early days in college. There was this group of Samoan family members who were also related to Junior Seau and the Seau family. So Seau meaning the football player of the
Look at
Chargers.
this. Still trying to reconnect.
And so with that being said, The Rock was a little more personal because I found out too a lot of these Samoan wrestlers and athletes were all related to this family.
Did you notice they try to black it out when you say certain words, certain people's names?
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm just gonna keep it moving, keep it going. And so when The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, I found out.
I'm showing the camera.
Oh, I thought you were offering me a drink. Anyways.
Keep talking.
So The
I
Rock,
know. I'm a pest. I'm being distracting.
So it just really turns out the fact that I used to, hang out with them. I used to wrestle in the backyards with the Samoans and things like that. It was one of those times where,
Wrestling in the backyard with the Samoans.
well, not just them, but also various other people too. Backyard wrestling, fighting, that kind of deal. And so it was more of a really personal situation a little bit because because I knew the family. I knew the families and their relatives. They would not have been down with some of the stuff that he did. And as far as regarding pedophilia and that kind of thing, they would not have been down with that at all. They would have been like, They would have, if anything, if they would have had their way, they would have kicked his ass, like up and down, because that's not something they were with it.
And I was shocked because didn't you say he was supposed to be the chief?
Yeah, he was supposed to be High Chief of Samoa. His grandfather was the High Chief Peter Maivia, who was also a pro wrestler, and then his father, from who he was from the black side, he was Black Rocky Johnson. His father was a pro wrestler, and then he was a third generation pro wrestler. Now he's got a daughter named Simone Johnson, who's now training to be a pro wrestler herself.
Well, you know what? I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at the monarchy. Look at all the people out of them who are
Oh yeah,
on the list.
yeah, from Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip and all of them people like that. Prince Charles, especially Prince Philip, and him hanging out with Epstein and all them guys like that. I mean, yeah. So we have to just realize.
So you can't hang out with just anyone, okay? And whether you're like a mother and you need to protect your kids, or okay, I keep reiterating this. Everything is oscillating so fast that it just becomes crystallized in your physical reality so fast that you can't just hang out with imbalanced people or people who have demon attachments and the like. You can't, because you're going to be infected with that yourself. So you got to live a clean lifestyle, and that also entails clean relationships. Okay, so guilty by association,
Right.
all these people who are participating in crimes against humanity. Well, guess what? You hang around someone who lies, cheats, and steals, and does all this and that, or sleeps around, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can't be doing that. I mean, you can, but
There will be some consequences for
yeah, there's consequences. So if you want to stay away from that kind of crap, then you have to live a clean lifestyle. Just it's always worth it. You earn it. You think, oh well, that's not easy. Yeah, everything that's worth it is never easy. Okay, cancel that. It's usually not easy. It can be easy, but it becomes easy once you get over the burnout and you're already used to living that lifestyle of discipline, or even as Vishen Lakiani likes to say, blisscipline.
See, one of the key things I like about this new that I really have earned. I mean, that he really earned my respect. That you not hear much about him was Ricky Gervais when he did that monologue for the Golden Globes.
Woohoo!
Oh my
That's
God, that was classic. And you know what? It just really hit me when I really watched it a couple times yesterday, like repeatedly. That was the beginning of the end of old Hollywood. The beginning of the end.
see, it's disconnecting again. Every time you say certain keywords, it keeps doing it.
Beginning and the end of the old Hollywood. And Hollywood, remember, people they don't even know it's a druidic word. It is a druidic power and magic from the holly tree.
Hollywood tree.
Yes,
That's why they have their stick and they say, "Oh, I cast a spell on thee" with their stick, their wand, which is made out of wood of the Hollywood tree.
which is druidic magic.
And you know what? If you guys know, let me know. Let us know. I'm still trying to figure out all the cryptic things that they're saying with the magic, with the black magic that's casted upon the money. Not just like the US dollar's paper currency, but even the coins. I want to know more about the coins.
Right.
And I don't know if this is true, but I even came to my mind, oh, are because they're talking about like necromancy and the rituals and the spells cast on the paper currency money, like those who know don't want to touch the money. And how they talk about the dead presidents, and I was thinking, okay, well, what about the coins? Because there are people who work in certain areas revolving around money, whether it be casinos or IRS, and they don't want to say the full story, and I want to know more. That's just the way I am. I love to get deeper into the research and the roots, get to the root of things, the core. And I was thinking, well, what is it? Are the demonic souls entrapped in these coins? I don't know, but it passed my mind because I'm trying to think of all these things, like why? Because they say those in the know won't even look at it or touch it. They just use like digital currency. So I'm wondering what are the spells that are cast in it, because you and I teach psychic protection. So but then at the same time, I don't like that word because we just use it because that's what people need and want and ask for. That's their understanding. Whereas us, we're like, okay, it's not even about protection. It's about a different mindset where you're not even on the same playing field.
Right. But at the same time, that's what a lot of people don't understand, especially and unfortunately upon the metaphysical community themselves. I mean, those who are really advanced would know exactly what we're talking about and are on our level and higher. But for those who say I don't need protection and everything, they're not at that same level. A lot of these. So I mean, I laugh about this with certain metaphysical communities. Why do I need protection for? What do I need this for? Those are the type of people that are not as high level as those who say, well, you have to be at a certain level. I'm not going to say too much until you start taking our courses, but a lot of these, so like for instance, one of them in particular that we have looked upon, she even says, well, I think this whole pedophilia thing has gone too far about this and that and what a witch, another witch hunt. And I was like, oh no, hold on. I don't think she's fully getting the idea how big this thing really is as far as human trafficking and child trafficking and all that are concerned. She just thinks we're just witch hunting and everything else. So these government officials are witch hunting. No, they're not getting the full spectrum. They're just saying we've gone too far. I don't think it's gone far enough. That's why it has gone as out of hand as it has been, and regarding child trafficking and all this other stuff, or sex trafficking of adults too, not just children.
Well, I think that's your perception. I don't agree with. I think she is just scared. Like whoever you're talking about, I think she's just scared, and I think she does support these witch hunts, to bring justice um, to all these corruptions. But I think she's scared to go deeper, which is why she doesn't talk and go down the rabbit hole even more and get more to the roots. Like there's other people who just say, "Oh, love and light, love and light, love and light. We're here to transmute all these people who have died or who have, and yeah, they all have their place, but there's even deeper. There are people who do things above and beyond, or even deeper, that are like, it's not just about love and light. There's more to it. There's more to the multidimensional healing than just, oh, let's just pray and sit and hold the love and light.
And especially the fact that they're not dealing with the shadow aspect of things of their
No,
life.
that's how they're dealing with it. Like this other lady said, that's how you deal with it. You have to keep feeling and blasting love and light to these people who experience the torture, the death, all of this crimes against humanity.
Right. And but the way I look at it, the way I see it though too though, in order for you to do that, you have to also dig deep within your own shadows. Uh,
Exactly. That's why I keep telling people, you can't just be running around with these hoes, these, sleeping around or lying, cheating, whatever, or just, backstabbing, lying, being deceptive. Like, I keep telling people, you gotta be more stern, more disciplined, with more clean with your relationship, with your boundaries you uphold within yourself, to yourself, because how you treat yourself is how you treat all the other people around you. I mean, I keep going back to the personal because it is literally a reflection. What's happening with all these crimes against humanity? It's a reflection of all of us in our inner worlds. There's still more that we need to heal inside.
And that's what people don't want to face up to. See,
They
people.
keep blaming and pointing outside, these people are bad. Well, we're all one. If you look at it as unity consciousness, we're all children of God, even the people who have gone astray.
Right. Especially that. And so with that being said, when so rather than always getting mad at people who are exposing it and so forth, if you don't have to agree, you don't have to agree to everything, but at least take a look at it to see what you feel about it and what kind of healing that you can do for yourself. Because once you do more healing for yourself, you can be more open
You want to
to.
give an example so it gets more concrete, they understand, it gets more
Oh, okay, like for instance, if you
consumable, digestible.
okay, like for instance, all right. So for how do I say this? Okay, for white people, for instance, a lot of the times white people don't really want to look at the things that there's racism still in America. There's racism for this and that, but a lot of the times their ancestors were the ones that did the race, did the racism, and I mean, they did the slavery and everything else too, and yet it's part of their DNA that this whole thing is still part of your DNA because your ancestors were there. You see, your ancestors and you are connected in a DNA fashion. So there's still some guilt trips that are going on within yourself, but you're not willing to dig deep with it because in all aspects, there's some of racism or and all that within you too. And you don't want to call it out on it because you don't want to call people out on it. That's one of the reasons why some of the black people out there say that you white folks don't call upon your own white folks on their stuff. It's because you guys are still part of it because it's still encoded in your DNA. As far as there's the slave trades and everything else like that, which is one of the reasons why there's still some anger among blacks because there's still, even though yes, their grandparents and so forth were in Jim Crow days and all that stuff, but yet it is but the Jim Crow memories are encoded within their DNA of those who are alive today, including the millennials.
By the way, blacks also enslaved blacks. Look at the Moors. Look at the Arabs. They're the ones who taught the white people how to do the slave trade.
Yes. So in other words, what I'm saying here is that we've all have enslaved each other at one point or another. We all have.
I have it in my genetic DNA coding too. I mean, when I was writing that book, um, about 15 years ago or so, I was crying because even if I wasn't this physical vessel in that war, still the colonization, the enslavement, you know, the torture, the rapes, the killings, it's still passed down through my DNA. So it still affects me. And that's why when we do healing, we do it for 7 generations and beyond
Right, because it takes that much. It takes that amount of generations
to drain the swamp.
drain the swamp from within yourself. That is, of course, we also need to drain the swamp politically and everything else too. And that's another thing too. Why I like to touch base on Paul
I'm
politically so much.
resurrecting from the swamp.
One of the things I like to talk about politics so much It's because politics has definitely.
Oh, you got to wrap it up. It's ending.
Oh yes, oh yes. So definitely.
Okay, so go ahead and go to our patreon.com/Bear Rainbow Shamanic Healers. We're officially launching it. Actually, you know what? I won't even say the date. Just go sign up on the 1st, August 1st, 2020 in the evening. All right. Love you.
Love
Bye.
you too. Bye bye. Healing is all that is.